Contestant number 6, Jeremy Udell. Seize the dream. Seize the dream, Jeremy Udell.
The great day had arrived. We were on our way. It was February 2006, and my sister, my mother, my father, and I were headed for a perfect moment, a magic memory, a dream come true in the city of Detroit. Contest master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, what's your dream? What lengths would you go to seize your dream? Are you planning ahead so that when your moment arrives, nothing can hold you back but your own fears? Will you give in to fear, let them quell your strongest desires? Or will you reach out with both hands and grasp that dream, never letting go, no matter where it might take you? To understand why our dream was dragging us towards Detroit, I need to take you back a little further in time than 2006. I was born in Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown is wedged fairly evenly between Cleveland, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, you may think that Youngstown, being in Ohio, would have more of an affinity for Cleveland, but Youngstown was also a steel-producing town, just like Pittsburgh. And in the 1970s, when the Steelers won 4 Super Bowls, Youngstown went Steeler crazy. Now, you may not care about football, but in my family, it's in the blood. We watched the games on Sundays, talked about it at dinners. At breakfast, we would read the articles together. My grandfather was born in Pittsburgh. He raised his son to wear the black and the gold. And you better believe that my dad raised me to wear the black and the gold. And indeed, my daughter, due in the next few months, will be wearing those great colors as well. Now, going back to those 1970s, the Steelers were great from about 74 to 80. My parents got married in the early 70s, so they got to watch those Super Bowls together with family, friends, the entire region geeking out about those great Steelers teams. My dad only had one regret, that he didn't get to go to any of those games. But it inspired him to work hard and plan well so that when another opportunity arose and the Steelers went to a Super Bowl, he could take himself and his family to see his team win. I was raised mostly in the 80s. The last Steelers Super Bowl was in 1980. My memory of the Steelers were that they were so bad that I actually asked my dad, why do we like this team? Why don't we actually root for those Cleveland Browns? I almost lost my Steelers card over that one. But my dad said to me, Jeremy, you watch. One of these days, our Steelers are going to be great again. And you and me, your mom and your sister, we're going to be there when our Steelers win another Super Bowl. We're going to seize that dream. As it happened, in the 90s, the Steelers did get very good. And in fact, they made a Super Bowl in 1996. And my dad turned to us and he said, I think we should go to the Super Bowl. There's no reason we can't go. We can afford it. It is available to do. But we were scared. We'd seen those bad Steelers teams and we just didn't believe in them. I was scared. I told my dad so, my sister. My mom was also worried about how expensive it was. I'm not going to lie. And we talked him out of it. And you know what? The Steelers lost that Super Bowl in 96. And the three of us, we were pretty relieved that we didn't go. Not my dad. He just felt regret, an opportunity missed. And he promised himself that next time he wouldn't let fear, his or anyone else's, holding back from seizing his dream. And that's why in 2006, when the Steelers made another run to the Super Bowl, he was sitting next to my mom just as the Steelers were winning the last game leading up to that Super Bowl. And he turned and said, "Honey, the Steelers are finally going back to the Super Bowl." And my mom said, "I know, isn't it great?" And he said, "I think we should go." He said, my mom said, "But honey, it's really expensive and they lost last time. Remember how we were all so relieved we didn't go? And isn't the Super Bowl in Detroit this year?" My dad said, "All of that's true, honey. But what if the Steelers win? And this is our only chance to watch it together as a family." My mom could see the determination in his eyes, and she said, "Go buy some tickets." I remember walking into my parents' house that night, throwing my arms in the air and saying, "Dad, the Steelers are going back to the Super Bowl." My dad said, "I know, Jeremy." And so are we. Well, we hugged and we cried. And we won that game. And it was a magic moment, an absolute perfect event for the four of us. My mom, my dad, my sister, and I, sitting together in Detroit, having a dream come true. A perfect moment of joy because my dad never gave up. My friends, what are your dreams? Are you planning ahead to seize your dream? I doubt that your dream is to watch the Steelers win the Super Bowl, but maybe it's scuba the Great Barrier Reef or climb Mount Everest or take the next rocket to the stars. Whatever your magic moment is, I urge you to follow my dad's advice. Plan ahead so that nothing can stop you. And when you reach that moment, don't let your fear or anyone else's hold you back. Seize that dream, because you never know. You might not just make your own dream come true, but your whole family's as well. Contest Master.